What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Um, Thank you so much for coming through on this Tuesday. I'm so glad to be in the building. I wanted to talk about a few things today, particularly the 2024 presidential candidates. And I just got word today that Cornell West is um, running for president, I guess. He's put himself on the ticket as a third party candidate. Here, let me play this real quick. Let me play this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. How do you do this? Okay, so they got some new stuff here. Give me a second. Okay, I like that one. I like that one. Here we go.
Sacramento native has announced his run for president today.
In these bleak times.
Why are the times bleak? Cornell, why are the times bleak? Again, I'm gonna go in on Cornell West today and other candidates. You already know who I'm voting for in 2024, or you already know who I'm supporting in 2024. But I'm very curious as to why this man is running. But let me hear him real quick.
I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running.
Cornell
Oh God, he said he's going to run for truth and justice.
West made his announcement on social media. The progressive scholar and activist says he's running as a presidential candidate for the People's Party. We should note that's not one of the third parties recognized in California. West grew up in Sacramento and graduated from John F. Kennedy High School.
Okay, so he's running for president. Here, let me read this real quick. Well, you know what? Let me get to the chat first. Salute to everybody in the chat. Positivity is definitely coming your way. I hope all is well with you and yours. Who do we have in the chat today? Who do we have in the chat? We have, give me a second here. Who do we have in the chat? Let's see. We got Dale in the chat. Salute to you, Dale. Positivity is definitely coming your way. We got Badass in the chat. Says, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Positivity is coming your way. We got Bob in the building. Salute to you, Bob. I hope all is well with you and yours. We got Daniel in the building. Says, yo to you. DMT is in the building. He says, yo. Hey, how you doing, DMT? Salute to you, man. We got Kedrick. Says, hey, what's up, everybody? Salute to you, Kedrick. Brandon says, probably chaotic. This should be interesting. Yeah, definitely. Nina's in the building. Nina, salute to you. 1,000,000 miles. Did you run today? Hope all is well with you and yours. Who else do we have? Oh, Kedrick says, Michigan in here as interesting. All right, so let me get to Cornell West. He said that he is running for president, but let me read an article. Give me a second here, because I'm very interested into knowing why this man is running. Cornell West says, let me see. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me enlarge it. Okay, this is from The Hill. Cornell West announces 2024 run for president as People's Party candidate. I don't even know what that is. Is that did he make that up? I don't know. Progressive activist Cornell West announced his 2024 campaign for president with the People's Party on Monday. He says, I have decided to run for truth and justice, whatever that means, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party. West said in a video announcement on Twitter, launching the third party presidential bid. I enter in the quest for truth. I enter in the quest for justice. And the presidency is just one vehicle to pursue that truth and justice. What I've been trying to do all of my life. West, a philosophy professor and longtime vocal progressive advocate, said his campaign will focus on healthcare, living wages, housing, reproductive rights, and de-escalating the destruction of the planet. How is he going to do that? But okay. The destruction of American democracy. Oh, okay. In the campaign video, West included a clip in which he referred to President Biden as a Cornell West uses a lot of what we call in academia butterfly words. When I was in college, freshman year, I used to use words like this. And I had a great professor. He told me, black guy, he said, please don't write papers like that. You sound stupid. You know, you're using butterfly words, long words for no reason to make yourself sound smart. And really what happens is you end up sounding dumb and nobody takes you seriously. You're 18 years old. Let's see here. What's going on, Alex? How you doing, man? Salute to you, man. Positivity is coming your way. I hope all is well with you and yours. Let's see here. So in a campaign video, West included a clip in which he referred to President Biden as a milquetoast neoliberal and referred to former President Trump as a neo-fascist. Fascist. Wow. So he's comparing Donald Trump to, who was the guy in Italy? The dictator in Italy back in the 30s and the 40s. Mussolini. Mussolini was a fascist. So Cornell West has just compared Donald Trump, if in my opinion, one of the greatest presidents in the 21st century or in modern times. He's comparing the leader of the free world or former free. He's comparing the former president of the free world to interesting, to Mussolini. Okay, let me see here. Let me see real quick. He explained his decision to run as a third-party candidate, saying neither political party wants to tell the truth. I didn't know that about Wall Street. What are they not saying about Wall Street, about Ukraine, and about the Pentagon, and about big tech? Okay. Do we have what it takes? We shall see, but some of us are going to go down fighting, go down swinging with style and a smile, he said. The People's Party was founded in 2017 by Nick Brana, a former campaign staffer for Senator Bernie Sanders, for the purpose of building a major new progressive populist party in America. Cornell West is my fraternity brother, but fraternity or not, I wouldn't vote for him at all. He's a communist. He himself is a fascist. He himself wants a welfare state. I'm going to play a few videos of Cornell West. I'm going to break this down. First, I'm going to talk about his physical appearance, right? Because a president has to look a certain way, right? Let's be honest. A president has to look a certain way, has to have a certain, what is that French word? Je ne sais quoi? I don't know that word, but if somebody help me out in the chat, they're supposed to have like some sort of decorum. And I want you to look at this real quick. I want you to see something real quick. Give me a second. I just want to play this clip for you real quick. I really want you guys to see this, man. This is, I mean, he's never going to win, right? He's never going to even come close, but I just want you to see this real quick. Okay, hold on. Let me share it. All right, there we go. Okay, look at this.
People, you're trying to compete on housing. You don't have enough education. Run decades by Democrats. They've allowed the violence, and they have failed our American children with the most horrific schools in the country. To the police, they don't have enough housing, they don't have enough education, and they certainly don't have enough jobs with a living wage. That's under Rahm Emanuel. Now, I'm no fan of Rahm Emanuel, but I'm certainly no supporter.
Okay, so I'm not, big on talking about people, but Cornell West, he doesn't look. I mean, yeah, he's a professor, if I'm not mistaken, at what, Harvard? No, not Harvard. He's a professor at somebody help me out here. Where's a professor at? I think it's Princeton, right? I think he teaches at Princeton, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. I'm almost certain that he teaches at Princeton. Wait a minute. Let's see. He's a press. Oh, okay. So he's a professor emeritus at Princeton. So he is an Ivy League professor. I mean, regardless of how crazy he sounds, he's an accomplished professor. Even though philosophy is an underwater basket weaving degree, but Cornell West looks like hmm, he looks like the crazy guy that has done a lot of acid. Like one of those like stoners from what was that big parade back in the day? Where all the hippies went. Um, Woodstock. Yeah, he looks like he is a hippie. You know, he dresses, even though he wears a suit, he wears it awkward. He keeps his hair unkempt. I've seen him in public a few times or in person a few times. He doesn't have a presidential look to him, and a lot of people really don't, to be honest with you, that I've ran previously. And, America is already a weakened country. And, with Biden falling every 2 seconds, um, you know, I could only imagine that we've become the laughing stock of the planet. So if he attempts to run in 2024, I don't think that he's going to get a lot of votes just because of his appearance. Forget what he's saying. It's just that his appearance is just off. But let's keep on watching him real quick. Let's keep on watching.
As you know, you and your good friend, Brother Trump himself.
Why didn't Rahm Emanuel, why did he not fix the violence?
But I'm going to in the name of truth.
Okay, Leo, why didn't he fix the violence? Why haven't they fixed our broken school systems? We have failed America's children.
Sean, you asked Dr. Cornell West the type of question you asked in a court of law. He won't answer them because he's just giving you old talking points. I'll speak to you, Dr. Cornell West, black man to black man. There's looting going on, and you try to conflate. No, it's my turn. It's my turn. You try to conflate protesting and policemen.
Yeah, I mean, even stuff like this, not to mention, I haven't even really gotten into his what his views on economics, foreign policy, if he even has any views on foreign policy. But could you imagine this crazy man debating with I mean, he probably would, actually, to be honest with you, he probably would mop the floor with Biden. And unfortunately, Kennedy, he is intelligent, and I'm going to get into him, but his voice, man, he has a voice. There's a situation with his voice, or I forgot what it is. I'll look it up again, but let's keep watching this real quick. Give me a second here.
misconduct. And shame on you. And you're absolutely wrong. You won't address the issue. You will refuse to address the issue. Because I'm talking to you. You're not my brother. You're not my brother. You are hurting black people by acting this position. You are taking the wrong position. That's it. No, my brother. That stuff plays out. That plays out. Address the question. Do you?
Yeah, you know, and like I said, his appearance, right? He looks like a crazy old man, to be honest with you. You know, he looks like, I mean, he probably doesn't drink or smoke, but he looks like it. And, you know, that is like, you know, that's weakness. You know, he doesn't look it. I don't know how he looks without all that hair. Maybe if he cleaned himself up, he would have a presidential look. But generally, presidents are, you know, good looking men, generally. Well, I know the last, in the modern era, definitely. I think Cornell does have the height. I think he's about 6 foot, maybe, but he doesn't have the look for it. His aides or the powers that be would tell him to cut his hair, and then he'd go back and forth with them. You know, why I gotta cut my hair? This me? Nah, you gotta cut your hair, bro. You can't be the president looking like you got a whole bunch of ants on your head. You can't, man. You know, you could be a professor, you know, you could be a doctor, but not a president of the free world. You just can't, man. It looks crazy. It looks crazy. Let me see. I already told you that I'm gonna get to the scholarly examples in a minute. I just want to talk about how he looks because that's the first thing that we see, right? Could you agree with that? Could you agree with that? Cornell West is 6'2". I didn't know that. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I didn't know he was 6'2". Wow. Okay. He's 6'2", right? Okay. Okay. Let me see. He's with. Oh, okay. He is a pretty big guy. Okay. Yeah, because he's standing next to Jay-Z and he looks to be his height. Let me see. Let me see. He looks a little bit shorter than Obama. So Obama's about 6'2". He looks about 5'10", maybe. He's about 5'10". His hair makes him about 6'1", maybe. But he's not as tall as Obama. Yeah, and you know, to be honest with you, you're gonna, especially if you're a black man, you're gonna have to be tall to be president as well. Can't be, you know, short dude looking like Gary Coleman. Let me see here. Let me hear the rest of this.
Oh my gosh, you have lost control. You're a dinosaur. You're an outright dinosaur. You have lost it, sir. I'm not part of your group. I'm not part of your group. You have lost it. You are a dinosaur.
Very disturbing news out of Vernon Central High School.
What's going on?
Okay, there we go.
If you
Okay, so let me listen to the video where Cornell West is announcing his presidential announcement. Give me a second here. All right, wait a minute. Let me see real quick. He looks absolutely crazy. Give me a second, man. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
These bleak times.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what does he mean by bleak times? I don't get that. You know, what is he talking about? America has the #1 GDP on the planet. We have the #1 military. You can pretty much be anything you want to be if you apply yourself in America. I mean, hell, he's running for president, and he looks like Pops from the Wayans brothers. Respectfully, what is he talking about? bleak times. I mean, so if these are bleak times here, what was the Great Depression 100 years ago? If these are bleak times, I mean, what were the times when when the country was frontier territory? If these are bleak times, man, I mean, my God, I love these bleak times. If these are bleak times, what about all of the ongoing wars outside of America? Ukraine, Sudan. What on earth is he talking about? Bleak? Bleak what? The streets in America are made of gold. The trees have honey coming from them here. What is he talking about? This country has some of the highest human rights advocacy on the planet. You can pretty much do anything you want to do here. I have no idea what this man is talking about, but let me keep on. And I see people in the back. Give me a second here. All right, let's keep on listening to him.
I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party.
I thought the president was supposed to defend the Constitution. I have no idea what he's talking about. Truth and justice.
Day 9,000.
Wait a minute.
In these bleak times.
Let's see something real quick. Let's see what Roland Martin has to say. Let me see what Roland Martin has to say real quick. He's another fraternity brother of mine. Let me see.
All right, Cornell West has announced he is running for president of the United States. He dropped this video.
Okay. He says fighting to end poverty. Fighting to end poverty. The way to end poverty is go to get a job. What is he talking about? Fighting to end poverty. If you're in poverty in America, that's a choice. See, this is what I'm talking about. He says, I'm running for truth and justice as a presidential candidate for the People's Party to reintroduce America to the best of itself. What is he talking about? America has always been the best. Reintroduce? What are you talking about, Cornell West? Fighting to end poverty, mass incarceration? No. Why would you fight to end mass incarceration? People who are incarcerated are criminals. Why would you want to end that? I don't want these animals out in the street robbing and killing my ass. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have that same sentiment. Ending wars? Cornell West, what are you talking about, man? If it were not for ongoing wars, sir, America wouldn't be as great as it is, sir. You have to regulate. We have to inflict our will on the planet, sir. An ecological collapse? Man, what is he talking about? Has this dude ever flown over America? Ecological collapse? A lot of America is damn empty land. Man, ain't nobody destroying America, man. These cars and emissions aren't damaging America to that point. Guaranteeing housing? What? What is he talking about? How is he going to guarantee housing? Get up, get to work, and house yourself. Healthcare? I can get with that with healthcare. I kind of do believe healthcare should be universal, but you know, I'll give him that. Education? What's wrong with our education? It's free education from kindergarten to college. And truth be told, colleges are free now. Some community colleges, there are community colleges now, colleges that allow you to go to school for free. In Ohio, I believe in Cleveland, students are able to go to any school in Ohio for free now. Living wages for all. Man, what does he want? A welfare state? My God, I never thought in a day, man, I would hear something like this.
On a Twitter. Yeah, that's a tweet. Where's the video?
In these bleak times, I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party. I enter in the quest for truth. I enter in the quest for justice. And the presidency is just one vehicle to pursue that truth and justice, what I've been trying to do all of my life.
Hey, man, what on earth is he talking about? I'm confused here. I really thought, no, somebody throw me some rope here. I thought that the president, his duty was to defend the Constitution. What is he talking about? He's just rambling off.
I come from a tradition where I care about you.
Ah, please, you don't. No, you don't. You care about teaching at Princeton, having that prestigious emeritus title. You don't care about the common people, because if you cared about the common people, you would be around commoners. You would be at a common college. I went to school, Cornell. I know the creme de la creme amongst educators, and they want to be at the top. You ain't fooling me, Cornell. You're not fooling me. I'm not going to vote for you anyway. And I'm the chaotic truth. I give a lot of factual truth and a lot of my own truth, which is, just my opinion and perspective. But you ain't for no people, Cornell. Stop it. People, stop. You're not for the people. Again, why aren't you at an HBCU? Why aren't you at a state college that has 50 or 60,000 students? But see, look, I already know the game, man. You want that on your CV. You want that on your resume, that you were at Princeton teaching. Hold on, let me keep on going. I'm going to bring everybody up in a minute. Give me a second. He is clout chasing. Talking about he want to run for the president. Talking about truth and justice. We have some of the best courts on the planet. What are you talking about? America has some of the best checks and balances on the planet. There are some countries where there is no truth and justice. It is what it is. I would love for this man to go to Thailand and see how truth and justice works over there. Ask that king over there about truth. Well, he's in Germany now, but ask that king over in Thailand about truth and justice. Stop it. Let me see what he's about to say.
I care about the quality of your life.
Yeah, he got to get a teeth job or something, man. You can't be president looking like this, man. He's on the left. You can't be the president of the United States looking like that, man. No homo, but you got to be good looking, man. You got to be good looking to be president. You can't be looking like this. Stop. Okay, hold on for a second.
I care about whether you have access to a job with a living wage.
Sir, people do have access to people do have access to employment, sir. There's a worker shortage in America because people don't want to work. Literally, I myself have walked down, obviously places where there's a lot of walking traffic, and people are outside with those sidewalk signs saying, "Come in, we're hiring today." I've walked past and managers have said, "Can you guys come and work? We have a shortage." What is he talking about? Access to jobs, man? What? Listen, his talking points sound like 1894. They don't sound like today. Stop, man. You got all types of people making money now. Let me see. Okay, hold on.
Decent housing.
Decent housing? My God. Man, who is he talking to? Decent housing? Man, have you ever seen the homes in Liberia? Have you ever seen the homes in Nigeria? Have you ever seen the homes in Thailand? You ever seen the homes in these third world countries? You ain't, man. Some of these people in America are living in the lap of luxury here. And it could be in a poor environment. What is he talking about? I've seen projects that look better than maybe not better than the Taj Mahal. I'm stretching it with that one. But I've seen some nice projects that look better than some Ritz-Carltons. Housing. Man, this dude is capping. Let's see what else he has to say.
And having control over their bodies.
Women, see, now I thought that you were a pastor. That's shameful. He's promoting abortion now? That's what he said. Women should have rights over their bodies. So women, hey man, you're frolicking around having premarital sex and you get pregnant. Oh, let's go kill it. That's exactly what an abortion. This is what this man is promoting. President, I don't think so, buddy. Not me. Not on my watch. I'll expose you, but you're not gonna win anyway, so it don't really matter.
Health care for all.
I mean, he's not even gonna be in the general election. I mean, come on.
De-escalating.
Now, I will admit, healthcare for all sounds good. I'll admit that all day. Okay, Cornell, you got me on the healthcare part. I ain't gonna lie. You got me on the healthcare part. I mean, because, you know, a lot of these, I mean, I went to the hospital a few years. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago. Man, it was for like, I forgot what it was for. Man, that bill was like $5,000, man. So I'll agree with him on that. Let me see.
The destruction of the planet.
The destruction of the planet? Man, Cornell, who are you talking to, man? Most of the planet is uninhabited. Most of the planet is water, really. The Pacific Ocean is huge, my good man. America, I've flown over America, sir, and I'm telling you, it really just looks like grassland to me, other than when you get to the cities. I can only imagine how Canada looks. I've Googled Earth, many parts of Asia, sir. Absolute Greenland. Most of the planet is Greenland and water, and it's not polluted as these conspiracy theories think. But this is a talking point that, you know, somebody like him who was a you know, elementary, he's not a politician, but somebody who's trying to get into politics. They say, yeah, talk about the pollution, talk about the planet, talk about the trees. Stop. All right, let me see. Let's keep on going.
The destruction of American democracy.
The destruction of American democracy? What is he talking about? America has... How is democracy being destroyed in America, man? Last time, hold on for a second. Wait a minute. I don't know any dictators in America. What I've seen in America is checks and balances, man. What is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about, really. Let's see.
Democracy creates disruption.
Democracy creates disruption? What? Wait a minute. Now, I didn't eat breakfast this morning, and, you know, I didn't eat anything. And maybe I'm road weary and a little bit tired. Did he just say democracy creates disruption? Let me get this straight real quick. Wait a minute. Let me rewind this real quick. Wait a minute. Hold on for a second.
Democracy creates disruption.
Democracy creates disruption? Hey, man, get this old dude in an insane asylum. Democracy creates... You mean the same democracy that has allowed you to enrich yourself in this country? You mean the same democracy that has... You mean the same democracy, sir, that has allowed you to have more rights here in America than you would have in Mommy Africa and parts of East Asia? Are you out of your mind, Cornell West? Go to Thailand and say something about the king over there. See you in 7 years, buddy. What are you talking about? This democracy, sir, has allowed you to have human rights and God-given rights. Freedom of speech, freedom of choice. I got into an argument the other day with, well, it was really a month ago, with a, she was lesbian. She's cool though. I rock with her. But she's trying to tell me that America, that pretty much that, you know, that you don't really have freedoms here. I said, are you out of your mind, chick? I said, you can't be a homosexual in Uganda. You're not free to be there. You're not free over there to be homosexual, because over there, they don't really have a democracy. It may look like it on paper, but they don't really have a democracy over there. You think that they have a democracy in Thailand? Stop it. Oh, what about North Korea? Do they have a democracy? No, they have a dictatorship, and the people are living in hell over there. Did this man just say we got to disrupt democracy? You mean the same? You mean the same democracy, sir, that has allowed you to live in the wealthiest country on the planet?
It creates an eruption.
Eruption? Cornell, listen, I get it. I get it. A lot of people are stupid. I get that, but not me. Eruption, sir, America is super safe compared to most places on the planet. What are you talking about? You mean the same eruption that has affected your life? The life where you went to Harvard and Princeton, and now you are a professor emeritus? Somehow that eruption didn't affect you. Man, look, man, I will mop the floor with all these presidential candidates, man. I'm not going to just talk about this Yoko right here. I'm going to talk about a lot of them today. I'm going to talk about Mike Pence. Why are you running for president, sir? I don't want a couch as a president. You're a couch. You're just there. I'm going to keep on talking about Cornell, though.
It creates an interruption. Why?
See, look, man, I know these types of people, man. I went to school with these people. I had some of these people as my professors. They use these words and they try to rhyme, you know. And to like somebody dumb, yeah, it sounds good, especially kids, you know. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, a man like this when I was 18, I would have been coming to his class early, like, well, I can't wait for Dr. Cornell West to come, because you know you're a kid. So your brain is used to nursery rhymes. That's why, like a lot of rap is very popular amongst children because it's nursery rhymes. It's easy to understand. So you get a professor like this, America is a disruption and it is interrupting. He's like a call and response type dude. But see, when you get older, and like myself, you see right past this. Let's keep watching.
From below, the energies of everyday people is manifest. And I know there are precious people in your life who you care for. That's why it's important for you to be involved, important for you to participate. We're not talking about hating anybody. We're talking about loving.
Hey man, what are you talking about? This ain't no damn hippie love fest. I ain't gotta love anybody here. This is America. Gotta love people. Listen, America is about capitalism, my good man. It's about greed here. It's about competition. If you want to be hunky-dory and lovey-dovey, man, go to some little hippie country, man. Go to Canada or somewhere. But not here in I'm loving people. Stop. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, Cornell. Yeah, man. I gotta love people, man. I'm telling you, this dude is on blotter acid. And I know people like this, man. They take acid, you know, you put it on your tongue. Man, 1 minute that's John, and then 2 years later, man, you're talking to, this a dude who's just psyched out. Yeah, man, you know, what if we could just all get in a stadium, bro, like 40,000 people, man, and just hug each other? I'm like, what? Are you on dope? What are you talking about? And this is what happens, man. A lot of these baby boomers, man, they were doing major psychedelic drugs back in the day. Mushrooms, ayahuasca, DMT. I've done DMT too, so I hope I don't end up like this dude. And I'm telling you, man, these people, man, they start talking crazy. Let me go back. Did this dude really just say this? Hold on for a second. Give me a second here.
For you to participate. We're not talking about hating anybody. We're talking about loving.
What?
We're talking about affirming. We're talking about empowering those who have been pushed.
Who's pushing who? Who? Wait a minute. Somebody pushed somebody? Wait a minute. I'm confused here, Cornell. Who pushed who? Who got pushed? I didn't get pushed. I don't know anybody in my life who got pushed. And pushed by who? The government? The corporations? Who pushed you? Who pushed you? And if what you're saying is true, how come you didn't get pushed off course? Because you certainly have an incredible educational background. I don't know, man. I don't know about this guy. I'm not voting for him anyway, but I don't know about him. I want to point out that Sheridan says, never trust a boomer. They are evil. I don't know. Let's see.
To the margins, because neither political party wants to tell the truth about Wall Street, about Ukraine, about the Pentagon, about big tech. Neo-fascists like Brother Trump or milquetoast neoliberals like Brother Biden. Wow, I'm so happy to make a world-shaking decision. You know what I mean? I know gangsters when I see them. And gangster's not a subjective expression, it's an objective condition. Do we have what it takes? We shall see. But some of us are going to go down fighting, go down swinging with style and a smile.
What?
Accenting the best in you.
This is another thing too, man. If you're gonna be president, man, you gotta fix your teeth, bro. You can't be the president, man, with that big ass gap. Let's be completely honest, man. That's the first thing Vladimir Putin will see. Did you notice that guy's gap? He was, it's the first thing Xi Jinping is gonna see. You got gap. What is that gap? See, you can't. You gotta look a certain way, man. You can't go out here looking crazy, man. As the president, Cornell, you can't do it, buddy. You can't do it.
You and trying to tease out the best in me. Let's do it together.
I love Montana, but I'm doing this for our family.
They will fight you dirty.
Is there?
All right, so here's the issue, Avis. And so we think about.
Let's see what Roland Martin is going to say.
Third parties in this country. Look, you got two major parties, Republican.
Oh my God. Hey man, this is if there was a picture that could best describe liberals, this is the picture right here. Let me see what these people are gonna say. Hold on for a second.
Republicans and Democrats. All right. The Libertarian Party, they have ballot access in 33 states. Okay. The Green Party has ballot access in 17 states. The Constitution Party has ballot access in 12 states. The People's Party has ballot access in 3. Isn't this a vanity project?
Okay, let's see what he's going to say about that. Hold on for a second. Let's see what they're going to say.
Yeah, this is a symbolic project. Definitely, you can see that he doesn't really have the reach, for example, to just in terms of ballot access, if you laid out there, to make the same sort of damaging impact, shall we say, that around.
Oh, he would never make a damaging impact.
Did. However, we've seen him over the years. We saw his transformation from fan of Barack Obama to nemesis of Barack Obama. And we've seen his activity continue to increase in relation to support.
All right, hold on for a second. Let me, unapologetic, what's going on, man? I've been holding you up. What's going on, man? You're on mute.
What's going on, brother? How you doing? I'm sorry about that.
No, you going on, man? What's going on, man? What say you about Cornell West, man? He announced his presidential bid. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Cornell West, he announced it. I'm getting other stories on the situation with him and how a lot of Biden supporters are not liking the fact that he's doing this because he's going to take the progressive vote, supposedly. And it made sense. And I believe he's doing it probably just for that. But at the same time, as he is, I don't want to talk in layman's terms, but people like Cornell West, he's another Democratic operative, another neoliberal feminist that he calls, what's his name, that he calls Biden. So it's nothing to the fact that he is one of them guys that he's unbelievable on how long he's been in this, in this what you call a civil rights movement, and nothing ever happens to him. So it's kind of weird to me. Like him, what's his name, Jesse Jackson. A lot of them that have been in the game for years are now Democratic operatives, and it's kind of strange.
Check this out real quick. I'm going to check this out. Cornell West has been highly critical of capitalism and neoliberal economic policies. He argues that these systems prioritize profit and market forces over the well-being of individuals and communities, leading to exploitation and social disparities. Now, if you ask me, right, I don't believe that there's anything wrong with capitalism. I believe that capitalism is the greatest form, the greatest system amongst human beings ever created, right? The buying and selling of goods, right? Capitalism is the reason why this country is the way that it is right here. I mean, America has been the leader in industry or industries since its inception. Steel, oil, things of this magnitude, right?
Yes.
Cornell West, I don't know what he's trying to do, but I can only theorize. I observed this type of behavior when I was in school. He talks a good game, but he drives probably a foreign vehicle that's probably worth $100,000.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he lives in a very nice community, which is nothing wrong with that. He teaches at Princeton. He's a professor emeritus, so he's clearly making over six figures. And what these people do is that they are impressionable to dumb people. And I'm saying dumb people respectfully. Dumb people as in younger people, particularly. I used to be young. And I'm telling you, we would sit in luxury dorm rooms with all types of amenities. We would have $2,000 laptops, and we would have Marxist shirts on. Could you believe how insane that is? And so what I'm saying is this man literally is anti-capitalist, all the while benefiting off of capitalism. So what say you on that, sir? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a trick bag. He's a popularist, if that makes any sense. And we see it, if you went to college, you're seeing these type of men all the time. I coach high school football. There's a lot of kids that when they graduate, they go into these big colleges and stuff like that, especially young black men. I let them know you really have to, see things through a glass window. You can't look at something like it's exceptional because everybody loves it. It's popular to love it.
Yeah.
You got to think of it with a three-dimensional mindset. And that means you got to think of the big picture. You got to think like a man, because these people will lower your value mentally to get you psychologically, what have you. So it's one of the things that this guy He's just like a lot of, I'm seeing the chat saying he's a boule. He can be a boule. He could do what he does, but he's another one that Black people, follow for the most part, not all, for the most part, follow because he's telling us he's the gatekeeper. Of the boules. When it comes to college and stuff like that. So I kind of get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to point this out. These are all quotes from the great Cornell West. Cornell West, in an interview with the Radical King, says capitalism as we know it is a failure. It leads to massive unemployment, underemployment, and poverty, as well as tremendous suffering and degradation. In an interview with The Guardian in 2011, the great Cornell West says capitalism at its core generates arbitrary and unsustainable hierarchies of wealth, power, and privilege. This leads to vast inequalities and social injustices that undermine the well-being and dignity of people. In an interview with Democracy Matters, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, this is from his book, Democracy Matters, Winning the Fight Against Imperialism. He says capitalism thrives on exploitation, extraction, and the commodification of human beings. It reduces people to mere instruments of profit and treats their labor as a means to accumulate wealth for the few. Also, in an interview with Democracy Now! In 2013, Cornell West says capitalism is a system that exacerbates and intensifies the struggles of the poor, working class, and marginalized communities. It breeds a culture of greed, competition, and individualism that undermines our shared humanity and common good. Now, you guys can go check that out, but I got to ask you a question, Unapologetic Manhood.
Yep.
If Cornell West believes all of this, why doesn't he go live in North Korea?
Again, he's a popularist. He would never want to. He would never want to live in North Korea. Even people like Roland Martin, all these people that say all these different things, and these I call them poverty pimps. And this is what they do. They do this thing of like they promote victimhood. They promote all this stuff that we shouldn't promote. You even said it yourself when he said about what he said about the prison system.
He said that something we need to reduce mass incarceration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? Like, this is the problem with our society. He's an intelligent man, supposedly. He's an educated man, supposedly. Why would you want us even looking forward to capitalism, looking to break capitalism, and looking to promote the criminal element? Like, I just don't get that mindset that we play. These acrobats, these dudes are like circus clowns, and they
So Cornell West argues that mass incarceration is deeply intertwined with racial injustice and systemic racism. He emphasizes that people of color, especially African Americans, are disproportionately affected by harsh sentencing, racial profiling, and discriminatory practices within the criminal justice system. Now, me actually having worked in the criminal justice system, particularly in the courts as a probation officer, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that 99.9% of the people that I came encounter with deserved to be in the prison system or the probation system. And instead of getting sentenced to prison, you get probation. A lot of these people deserved it. A lot of these people will tell you that they deserve it. I had boots in the ground, I'm telling you. And I've had people when I was a probation officer tell me, hey man, I needed to be in prison, man. It helped me out a lot. That's what people have told me.
Yeah.
Who have gone to the penitentiary. And again, like what you're saying, he's a poverty pimp or something like that.
Yeah.
He's trying to sell something here. And it's not going to work with people who are either old and know or people who are highly intelligent. And the thing is that I don't want to live in a country where there are monsters out loose. And
absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, absolutely. I don't want to, and that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, why is these people like Cornell West and everything? What are you telling us? What tangibles are you bringing? Why are you saying the same stuff that you were saying in the 50s and 60s? It's like this, all the stuff you're saying, like the wars, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I heard all that doing documentaries on the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
This is 2023. And what they were saying, how they afraid for what's his name, but Joe Biden, and he's going to take all the progressive votes because of the kids. That's like, because he's in the college realm. He's always going to be there until the day he dies.
Yeah.
They're afraid of that, but he's going to take those votes, but he's not bringing any tangibles to anything. He's not bringing no substance. He's talking about something that probably occurred 60, 70 years ago, pertaining to wars and stuff like that, and people fighting, and and I just don't get it with these people. They do the same stuff. They do the same stuff, and I guess we don't understand that until we get older, especially in the Black community. We don't understand that. We don't think in that mindset that these people are talking the same stuff that we've been hearing since we were born. We in our 30s and 40s. And you said, this is what I want to say, probation.
Correct.
You're probation. Okay, I did. I'm an educator as well. So I see the kids. I see the high school kids.
Yeah.
And, what they're not going to want to learn from me. They're not going to want to learn from a guy that's been coaching 20 years, been in the educational field for 10 years, and play college ball. They don't want to listen to me. They'd rather listen until it's in a situation where they're in jail somewhere. So I hear so many kids in their 20s coming back to me saying, yeah, I would not want to go back to jail. I probably needed that. I would not want to do that again. I hear more from them than I do a kid that want to keep on going back to jail. So I get your point. Probation officers, I work with them all the time. So I absolutely get your point when you talk about stuff like that.
Thank you so much. Now, Cornell West is running for president. He's not gonna come. He's not even gonna be. He doesn't have a Chinaman's chance of winning.
Right.
But I'm curious about his stance on socioeconomic and political ideas. Check this out. West, this is in terms of foreign aid, my good sir. West emphasizes the need for foreign aid that prioritizes the empowerment and self-determination of recipient nations. He calls for a shift away from top-down approaches and a focus on supporting local communities, promoting sustainable development, and respecting cultural and political autonomy. Now, I can agree with his obvious stances on supporting local communities. However, I don't agree with foreign aid unless there is a absolute crisis in terms of devastation to human life. I don't believe in foreign aid. And Cornell West, just like, and I can't sit up here and pretend that presidents don't dish out foreign aid, but under Democratic presidents, they tend to dish out a lot of foreign aid. Biden, who is the current president, has literally given Ukraine close to $150 billion. I believe that Cornell West has that same sentiment. He looks at, remember he was in that video, he said, we got to share the love, that hippie nonsense. Forcing, you can't force me to love anybody. And that's the problem with this man. That he's a hippie.
Yeah, he's a hippie.
Go ahead. So what are your takes on his foreign aid agenda?
The foreign aid agenda is another plague on him being a globalist. He's you know he's a globalist. And it works for some of these people because what they do is they make sure they come to this country. They make sure that some of these people from other countries know when they do come to the country, know that Democrats did this for you, so vote for me. So it's one of them things. This is what they do, and again, globalism. When you're a globalist, you're not worried about what's going on in your own country. I don't care if you're in Taiwan to Canada, what have you. You're not really worried about what's going on in your country, or in what he said about your local towns, with your communities. When they say that, and then they talk on the globalist thing, I'll be like, they don't give a damn about their local communities and things of that nature. They don't care. What they care is about who the votes I'm gonna get. How can I get more popular so I can be on TV, gaining this money, being a capitalist as he is, and you can do that. Do what you do, but at the same time, you can't. You gotta, like, it's not his fault that he's fooling. And no disrespect to the black women, but he's fooling about 95% of them, and he's fooling about 80% of black men.
Yeah.
With this,
another thing, and thank you so much. Another thing that Cornell talked about was the environment. Now, I am not a scientist in terms of degrees, but I know what I see when I travel. And the fact of the matter is that I've flown over America dozens of times. America's open. Like it's really an open. It's like Greenland.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the major cities, it's just green. It's green. If you've ever done a Google Earth and you've gone over to like Africa, if you've ever gone over to Asia, most of it is just open land. Most of the planet is water. And then if he is so in love with the environment, I would challenge him. Hey man, why don't you give up your car, your gas guzzling car? Because I'm pretty sure he has the gas guzzling vehicle. But go ahead. Sir.
Yep. Yeah. they don't want to give that up. Just like when you hear somebody talk about reparations. That's non-black, you hear that, and then you say to yourself, okay, you're talking about reparations. When you gonna give up your check? Give up your check. Stop talking, give up your check. See, again, this is one to be invited to the quote-unquote cookout. And we just gotta start calling these things out. And I think we're doing that more than ever. We're calling these hypocrites out on a lot of different things. Again, just to be popular, not just to say, not just to be honest about what you're gonna do. He don't want to go anywhere. He don't want to go any other country because he has money that enough to go to some small island and live there for the rest of his own days. He don't want to go nowhere. See,
no, he doesn't.
His handlers wouldn't even allow him to go nowhere. So we really have to understand these people. They're gonna talk that game to put most, not intelligent people. I should say, not clearly not intelligent enough to understand this typical game that they play. He's going to keep on smoothing their, rubbing their hands and telling them it's going to be okay. Just follow me. But at the same time, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be more Cornell West is coming up, especially in this Generation Z era that's coming. Yeah. And he's definitely a hippie.
Yeah.
He's absolutely a hippie.
He's a super duper hippie.
Yeah.
Just with a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And he was talking about, jobs and this, that, and the other. And I laugh at that because not having a job in America or poverty is a choice in America. See, in other countries, you have no choice. You know, like Liberia, Liberia, Thailand, maybe. You have no choice. Here you have a choice. And the problem with a lot of these people, especially like a Cornell West, he went to Harvard for his BA. He got his MA. I'm sorry, he got his PhD from Princeton, and he's now a professor emeritus. So he did work hard in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got to give him credit for that. But for him to pretend that, poverty exists because of capitalism, no, poverty exists because people are lazy. That's why poverty exists in America, to be completely honest with you. Absolutely. And so he's going to sit up there and pretend that I went to a very large liberal arts college, and I can tell you this. There were certain types of students who studied hard and certain types of students who didn't. And what I'm saying is this, man, the kids who study hard, they become the doctors, they become the engineers, etc. The kids who don't study hard end up with underwater basket weaving degrees and underwater basket weaving jobs. So you can't blame capitalism on the fact that you did not focus in school and get a good degree. Because I can tell you this, man, there was nobody at the College of Mathematics saying, hey, man, we only allow certain types of students in here. We only allow Asians in here. Because that's who primarily was in the College of Mathematics building. Every time you walk past it, it looked like little China. Go ahead, sir.
Right. I believe it's like that because, again, when we talk about poverty and how you get out of it, when you don't like put this promotion of family dynamics, the nuclear family, how important it is, just like the Asian community, just like whatever the East European, whatever how you want to do it, Middle Eastern, African community. It's a thing. This is how you stop it. You don't stop it by yourself. You don't stop it from being a single mother, or you don't stop it by being a baby daddy. You stop it by making the right decisions. That's how you stop the poverty thing. And this is what we seem to not understand. And then when we call this stuff out, it's a huge problem to call it out. This problem, it needs to start we need to start to regulate it. And I see it more and more that we're doing it and stuff like that. But when we have guys like Cornell West and him activating that victimhood mindset, it makes it harder. You know what I'm saying? It makes it harder because, again, we're dealing with, and no offense to the people out there, a trash culture. We're dealing with that type of culture right now, a very much trash culture, because we don't want to talk about solutions. We want to talk about who can we blame.
Last but not least, and thank you so much. Last but not least, with Cornell, that I've noticed too was his stance on homosexuality. No, not homosexual. Well, that, but I meant to say him being pro-choice. He's an abortionist to a degree, and as a listen, this is what I keep saying, man.
I read that too.
Yeah, tackle the problem. If I were president, I would just flat out say, stop having premarital sex. You wouldn't have to do all that. But the fact is that abortions are absolutely appalling and disgusting. And Cornell, he's pro-choice. So he's telling women, hey, man, frolic around, have all this premarital sex you want, and you can get an abortion because you have pro-choice. That's what he's saying. But what's your stance on that? Yeah.
He is a hippie.
Yeah.
So they believe in that without a doubt. Being he's a chaos. He's an agent of chaos. And this is what they value, and that's a problem, because he knows if he's supposed to be pro-black, as he says, he knows a lot. It has a lot to do with the percentages that we have when it comes to our women having abortions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And nobody don't want to talk about, hey, we have to be responsible, Because again, the black families maybe 40, 50, 60 years ago, they did hold themselves to a higher standard, but no more. So so people like Cornell West, this is why he's here still, because he was one of the revolutionaries in the 60s and the 70s. This is why he was here, because he became a Democratic operative. And the Democrats, they want our sisters to keep on making bad decisions, making, in terms of not caring about who they having sex with, who the baby coming from, who cares about the baby. Let's get rid of the baby. And then this is why I say, when these people when they talk that pro-black stuff, I want to see how they really feel about the nuclear family and how important it is for the nuclear family. And every time I have a conversation with them, it's not important to them.
Okay.
When you really get to it, because they want that pro-choice and this and that, third, do what you will, be an agent of chaos and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mike Pence, he's announced his presidential bid. Now I'm going to show Mike Pence real quick for everybody who's forgotten about him. And I'm going to show you, let's see this video right here. I don't know why I can't hear it. Okay, so Mike Pence, we don't have to watch all of it, but for people who forgot, Mike Pence, for everybody who doesn't remember, he was in the House of Representatives. He actually was a good House rep. During his tenure, Pence was known to be a staunch conservative. He took a lot of stances on a lot of social issues. He advocated for pro-life policies and was involved in efforts to defund Planned Parenthood. He also supported traditional marriage and opposed same-sex marriage. His budget and economic issues, Pence expressed concerns about government spending and the national debt. He consistently voted to fiscal restraint and supported a balanced budget. In terms of being on committees, Pence served on various committees during his tenure in the House, including the Judiciary Committee and Foreign Affairs Committee. He used these positions to shape legislation and influence policy discussions on issues such as immigration, national security, and foreign relations. Also, he co-sponsored and supported bills related to tax cuts, fiscal responsibility, and limited government. He advocated for conservative principles, including reducing government regulation and promoting free market policies. Now, great man. He was a great member of the House of Representatives. But here goes my chaotic truth on him. I don't want a president where every time I see him, I'm going to fall asleep. He's boring. He's God boring. He would have been a great president 100 years ago, but he is boring. And I know when it comes to leadership and managing the country, I know that being boring or not, if a person can get a job done, hey, but a president also, in my opinion, is somewhat of an entertainer. I want to
you gotta have a little swagger.
Gotta have some swag. And that's why we listen. I ain't gonna lie to you. I voted for Obama.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. I think even your most staunchest of conservatives voted for Obama. It's like, hey man, come on, he black, man. Come on. But what do you think about Mike Pence, man? Did you know he was a member of the House of Representatives as well?
I knew he was I'm not for sure governor. So he was a House of Representative for Arizona. Was it Arizona? Iowa. Okay. I thought it was Arizona for some apparent reason, but I knew he was the vice president, obviously. But what I used to think
I made
of
a
him,
mistake. It was Indiana. Yeah, Indiana.
it was Indiana.
Yeah,
Okay.
Indiana. I made a mistake too.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. But the guy, he has no charisma. But
No.
I can say one thing: when he did go at with him and what's her name, Kamala Harris, went against each other, he actually did a really good job.
He did.
With her.
He
did a really good job. I remember that.
He did.
Because I was doing a live on Facebook, and I remember him he was like really going at her. She was getting frustrated. He was very intelligent when he wants to be.
Yeah.
He had a little charisma then. Maybe because he got used to the audience,
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, his views and things of that nature, he seems like he's more of a what is it? A centrics? What is that? Because I'm still getting into the political realm myself.
A centrist?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's still somewhat of that because he talks about a lot of liberal.
Very moderate.
Conservative, moderate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I can see. I can see what you're saying when it comes to that. When it comes to the Borman thing, because he does like a robot. He does like a robot. He wear like big, like somewhat. His suits be kind of big.
Yeah.
And you don't believe he's real until that very moment with Kamala Harris. Because I was paying attention big time during the whole Donald Trump presidency, even with him.
Yeah.
So he was a little. He's definitely was a little weird at that particular point.
Yeah.
He looked like a clone.
Yeah, he did look like a clone.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Absolutely.
Robert F. Kennedy. You familiar?
Yeah.
He's running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He actually is going to actually challenge the president in terms of what do they call it? Like it's escaping my mind. But anyway, he is a likely legitimate contender that could actually become president actually in 2024. But a lot of people who don't know, are you familiar with Robert F. Kennedy?
Is that the John F. Kennedy's son? Is that
That's
one of
Robert
his
F.
kids?
Kennedy's son. His father was the senator.
Robert F. Kennedy
Yeah.
son is what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
That's yep.
A lot of people like him. He's a liberal. He's Democratic, but
he's an old-fashioned Democrat.
Here goes the problem. Oh, you can't see it.
Rival Marianne Williamson
I see
agrees with that. She's written an op-ed titled "Debate Us, Mr. President." It reads, quote, "Candidate suppression is a form of voter suppression, and the party that purports to be the champion of democracy should not be so wary of its own house." The end of that quote. The latest Fox poll taken before he held a single event put Kennedy at 16% in the democracy primary. That's Fox News. A recent CNN poll now shows Kennedy with 20% among Democrat and Dem-leaning independent voters. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the mez with me in Focus Now. Welcome.
Okay. He's a Kennedy.
Yep.
His father was the late father was assassinated. Robert F. Kennedy, senator. Uncle was John F. Kennedy, obviously.
Yeah.
Very affluent political family.
Big time.
But the problem with Robert F. Kennedy is this.
Thank you, Harris.
First of all, let's get to the obvious here. The president doesn't even want to debate you. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think, his poll numbers are very high right now. And I think that he would rather not debate any of his opponents right now. During the last election, during the pandemic, he was able to conduct it from the White House without doing debates. I think it's important to do a debate now, and particularly because he will have to debate his Republican opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's Donald Trump has shown his acumen at debate, and the president is really going to have to be on his toes and asking to prepare for that debate.
Okay. Robert is a Democrat.
Yeah. No, I'm just about to say I gotta start smoking cigars. I'm gonna be sounding like him in about 10 years.
Yeah, he has a condition with his voice.
Yeah.
He's done great work.
Yeah, he sure has.
On environmental issues. He's an environmental lawyer. The man sounds incoherent because of his voice. Honestly, even if I were a Democrat, I couldn't vote for him. You can't have a president on a global scale meeting with people talking like that. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants to talk about it, but that might be a major no for me. Go ahead, sir.
It might be it's already a language barrier because he's talking to many countries. And then have to listen to what he has to say. It can be extremely, annoying.
Yeah.
For what he does, just like you said, he has a good history in politics. He actually, I think his numbers are jumping like it is because of his history. And also I was hearing from a guy a couple weeks ago is that he putting a lot of things out front. I was listening to Jason Whitlock, and he was talking about him a lot. He had a special on him specifically, and why Joe Biden camp don't want to do anything when it comes to campaigning against each other, doing that thing. And it's because of he is I don't want to even say it like that, but he is very personable. He will let people know what's going on because they will believe him because he's a Kennedy. So he's been in this all his life, not just some of his life. So yeah, I believe that he would be something like I wouldn't vote. You know what? If I was a Democrat, he'd probably be the one I vote for, just because he has a history.
Okay.
And he grew up in it. This man, like he's about 65, 70.
I think he's 69. Yeah.
60. So this man been there since, since he was a baby, even before him.
Yeah.
So I would want to see what's going on with him if I did vote Democrat, even though I don't, but he'd be the one. He's an old school Democrat as well.
Other than Obama, how long have you been voting Republican?
Man, I've been voting Republican since 2000, maybe 16, 17.
Okay.
16, because I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. So I'm going to say 16.
Okay.
I'd be a fool to vote for Hillary Clinton. So, yeah.
Now, are you familiar with Vivek Ramaswamy?
No.
So Vivek is a very well-to-do East Indian American. Parents immigrated.
No.
And I know.
Yeah.
And they actually,
I forgot about him.
If I'm not mistaken, they actually moved to India or Indiana because the name sounded like India. But anyway, Vivek, super intelligent, super, he has the charisma. He definitely, pause, not to be, what do they say? No homo. He has the look. Good looking dude. He has a presidential look. I don't know how tall he is, but I'm assuming he's over 6 foot. So that's a good thing as well. So he looks the part. He's smart. He has money. If I'm not mistaken, he's either a venture capitalist, or he's in equities. Put it this way: he has a lot of money.
Yeah.
The man is pro family. All types of. He's very conservative, and it appears that he is a nationalist, which you don't really hear about from a lot of people anymore. Everybody's worried about illegals coming here, helping them out, giving foreign aid to people. he appears to be a nationalist, which I like about him, and I actually like him. If it were,
I thought he was a Republican.
He's a Republican too.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
And so let me play a video of him real quick. Yep. Here we go. So this is Vivek Ramaswamy. Again, man, I honestly believe that he could legitimately be president. He's young. He's 38 or 37.
Yeah, very young.
He's real young. I really believe that we do need someone young in office now. I think it would, I know this. It would get younger people more, or at least I think it will. It would get younger people more involved in political matters if they can see somebody young in office. A lot of young people don't care about politics. They don't understand it. But if you have somebody young in there, I think that more people will get involved. Just like with Obama, more blacks got involved with politics because you had a black president. So maybe Ramaswamy will get young people involved. Here he goes. Let me see real quick.
From just running from something. And we need to start running to something. We've identified the poison, whatever it is, wokeness, gender ideology, climatism, COVID.
This is what I love about this dude. He calls it out.
Very intelligent.
Yeah. We have a problem with wokeism in this country. It's corroded. It's manifest in almost every institution. I was watching a commercial the other day, and it was a Ford commercial, and they had the rainbow colors on the Ford. I said, man, you ain't these people aren't buying this car, man. So why put that in a commercial? Listen, I've been at sports bars, have a drink or two. I look up on the screen, it's a commercial about hot dogs, and it's two dudes kissing at a picnic. I'm like, what? It's all in society, man. And I believe a person like Vivek, he calls it out, these agendas. But let's see what he's talking about. And listen, like even with the FBI, whistleblowers, they said that wokeism has corroded in the offices, in many of their field offices now. One guy who was a whistleblower said that his what do they call it? His superior at the field office, she had LGBT flags all in her office.
Oh yeah,
he was taking off important cases of national security to pretty much spy on YouTube content creators, essentially. Because they're deemed, obviously conservatives, because they're deemed as terroristic threats now. And so that's what they were whistleblowing about. But let's keep on watching Vivek real quick. You know, say anything real quick?
Yeah, this is crazy. And then I had a conversation with this white lady or white woman. She's an LGBTQ member, and we were talking about indoctrination. And she said, "What problem?" Because I said something on Facebook, one of my posts is saying that this is going to be the month where they're going to ramp up the indoctrination of, Pride Month and, things of that nature. So be worried, parents, in public schools. Yeah. And she said, what's the problem with Pride Month? I said, I have no problem at all, but, the indoctrination is what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
She said, what indoctrination? I said, well, are you kidding me? The conversation is open now, man. The conversation is over. So so that people, So we can go on with it.
Absolutely.
Globalism. That poison exists. It's going to fill a void, though, and it traces a vacuum. It fills a vacuum that actually lives in our hearts because it's created by the absence of real purpose and meaning. And I think if we want to be a true conservative movement in this country, around the world, in the United States of America, we're going to have to fill that void with the things that used to fill that void. That's how you actually stop the poison from entering. Let's not just be against, though I think we've done that plenty, race, gender, sexuality, and the
I also want to point out that Vivek's net worth is $600 million. So he has the money, man. And honestly, nobody can control him with that amount of money.
What do he come? I need to look him up a little more because I should have did it when he had the interview with what's his name?
You're talking about
when he got really frustrated with him. The CNN guy that just got Don Lemon.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I should have looked him up. I did.
Maybe I should play
research
that
on
first.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do his money come from? Like he's so young. You know what I mean?
Yes. So his money comes from. He is an asset manager. Ramaswamy is the co-founder and executive chairman of Strive Asset Management. It's an Ohio-based asset management firm backed by J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel. Let me see. Strive's total assets under management is $500 million. So this guy's pretty well. He's pretty well.
So to one of the people that's on here, the reason why I asked about his money because I literally, it don't matter. I don't want him to give his money away. I want to know how people build their money up, especially so young. That's all. That's all. It ain't nothing. I don't want to give his money away and this and that. I'm not a socialist. Don't worry.
Okay.
Here
we go.
On this before I move on to China.
I don't see what one has to do with the other, but go on. I took up a lot of time with Fox.
Oh, it's fine.
Don Lemon is a very catty female.
We have time.
I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially and using the Civil War to talk about Black Americans. That war was not fought for Black people to have guns. That's not.
That war was fought for Black people to have freedoms in this country. Yeah. Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
And the sad
that
part
wasn't
about
fought for Black people to have guns. I think.
Actually, you know, funny fact is Black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that's one of the lessons that we learned.
Aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
Now listen to Don Lemon.
What the hell?
Now, mind you, Don Lemon, he's married to a white man. They live in the Hamptons. And he's
usually are.
And he's saying that Blacks don't have rights and freedoms. All the while, he's making $10 million a year to be a catty female. But see, this is the problem again with liberal media. And, a person like Vivek, who just tells the honest to God's truth, is not liked amongst liberals, but he is definitely loved amongst conservatives. Go ahead.
Yes. He's very good. He's very, he's very respectful with it too. That's what counts in my book. But, this Don Lemon got to be 60 now. And this young man is keeping his, he's keeping his composure way more than Don Lemon, and he's 60. This is the agent of chaotic ways of a lot of these people on the left.
Yeah, totally agree.
Also,
Vivek founded a biopharmaceutical company. It's called Roivant. It's a healthcare company focused on applying technology to drug companies. I'm sorry, to drug development. Excuse me.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live in this country, then you can disagree with me. But we're not. You mentioned that we have three different shades.
Don, I think we have to be able to talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin. Black Americans today, to say that, compare that to 1865 and 1964,
I think you to compare it to
absolutely
1865 and
have equal rights in this country.
I think it's insulting.
What do you have anything on this before I move on to China?
I don't see what it wants to do with the other. Joining us now, a frequent guest on Fox News, Republican presidential candidate and tech entrepreneur, Vivek Ramaswamy. So we are happy to have you on. I'm going to talk to you more than just about.
Don, stop lying. You're not happy to have him on. Stop it.
Fox News. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be
What do
here.
you make of this decision to settle this case?
I mean, it strikes me as a cost of doing business. If you're going to be a news network, I think it's happened to CNN. I think it's happened to a lot of news networks.
That has not
It's a cost
happened
of
to
doing
CNN.
business.
It's not happened to CNN. This is
Never
the
been sued for
largest-
defamation. Never been actually
this
settled.
is the
Yeah,
largest
it's definitely
in
large,
history.
and Fox appears to have the largest viewership and the market capitalization. So I'm not familiar with the details of this case. I'm actually more interested in issues relating to this country than disputes with media companies. But I will.
And this is what's gonna make him a good president, man. And is what he just said. I'm interested with what is going on in this country. It's things like that makes me believe this man is a nationalist, and that's what I respect about him. But let me keep on playing it.
We'll say that
he was
it strikes
actually
me that from.
So what now?
Oh, so I was just saying he was actually born. He was born and raised in this country. His parents.
Yes, he was
not
born here.
from
Yeah,
his
parents are
Yeah,
not
I just
from
wanted. I wanted to let them know that.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not familiar, honest. You're not familiar with the case. You're not familiar with the lies about the 2020 election, about the election being stolen. That Dominion was somehow, fixing the votes. I mean, that's why they $787.5 million. You're not familiar with that, and you're running for president.
The details of a private dispute between a commercial dispute and the details of what the dollar figures are. That's not where I spend. That's really not where I spend my time. But what I will say is, look, there's defamation cases. People settle businesses. If you settle business disputes, Fox settled this one. It's actually not, I think, the pressing issue for the nation of what Fox News' settlement is.
I disagree with that because as you just admitted, you said Fox is the largest viewership, one of the largest viewerships among television networks and especially cable networks, considering the eyes, the American people who are tuning in to Fox News to get their information and to get it accurately. I'm surprised that you would say that you're not concerned about this, and this is not something that is hugely pressing for the American people.
Here's the way I look at it.
Freedom of the press is the First Amendment in the Constitution.
Oh, exactly. You nailed it. The freedom of the press. So we have CNN, we have Fox. I'm here with you guys. I go on Fox News. I think that's great that we have a marketplace of ideas in this country. What I worry more about, Don, is the trend that we see in this country to controlling what different parties are actually able to say.
Exactly. And we already know which party can freely do what they want to do and say what they want to say. And
absolutely. Absolutely. And in terms of, he had that one to speak to the chat. He had that one situation where he talked about the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Just because your boy had him speak on it. He didn't speak on it just to speak, let me talk about this. No, so he don't speak on just black issues. And if he did, he can do that because black politicians, they always speak, especially Democrats, they speak on globalism 98% of the time. So let him talk about other things as well. He can talk about us if he's coming with facts. Let them come with facts. That's the problem. People are really angry about facts, and this is what he talks about. You can't.
On my channel, I have liberals call in every now and then, and I just give them people facts like data, think tanks, nonpartisan institutes that conduct research. They won't listen to it. They won't listen to it at all. Let me see.
The American way to bad speech is more speech. And so I think we need to actually embrace that culture and a more diverse marketplace of ideas. That's something we haven't done well enough in this country.
With all honesty, you're not answering the question. You're giving us...
No, Don, he answered the question.
Platitudes
about. I'm not sure what the question is, Don. Do you want somebody to bash Fox News on CNN?
No, I'm not asking you to bash Fox. I'm not asking you to bash Fox News. I'm asking you to be honest about what happened on Fox News, about the lies that were told. And
who has hotter reporters to you, by the way? The females on Fox or the females on CNN, by the way? I think Fox beats these people out every time. What say you, sir?
Let's just say MSNBC is down bad.
Oh, it's just gone down? Okay.
They down bad to me. But I'm going to say, people think because I'm a conservative. No, I got odds. I'm gonna say Fox News. They've been having that for years. They've been having that for years. There's one sister on CNN is fine though. One of the sisters, she's definitely fine. Yeah.
Them having to admit the lies and paying the largest defamation settlement to a media company in history, and you are a frequent guest on that network. Are you concerned about the credibility? Are you going to continue to go on that network even with those credibility?
I have far more concerns with the credibility of what we will call the mainstream media than I do with the credibility of Fox News. But
Fox is the mainstream media.
At the end of the day, what I say is, look, neither you nor I know the details because they settled it before it went to trial. I think the obsession over this is a little weird.
Listen,
it's a little bizarre.
I don't want to get into
that. There's real issues to talk about in the country. Why are we talking about Fox News and the settlement?
This is a very big and important story. And I'm not going to, we have much more that we want to talk
I think we should
about, but we will get there when we're ready to get there. We have you on to talk about these issues. This is a very important issue and it should not be downplayed. This has to do with American democracy and Americans learning the truth about what happened in the 2020 election.
You want to know what?
You don't think that's important?
I hear a lot about
comparing it to CNN is not this apples and oranges. It's not the same thing.
Well, it's different networks. Yes, apples aren't the same as oranges. You get one view through CNN, you get a different view through Fox News. I think that's good in our marketplace of ideas is that we have media that offers diverse perspectives. And you want to talk about threats to our democracy? One of the threats, and that phrase is an interesting one, threats to our democracy. I think one of the biggest ones is the chilling effect on speech in our country more broadly, where if somebody says something that a broad segment of the population or certain people in the government disagree with, there's an increasing trend in our country to silence that. And the answer to bad speech and alleged misinformation is not less speech. It is more speech in the marketplace of ideas. That's actually what a free press really means.
All right, we're going to move on, but your answer was good. But it's not about what's actually happened. It's not relevant to what's happening. I think the answer to what happened at Fox.
Go ahead, sir.
Just in 2017, this man, Don Lemon, was very conservative.
Yeah, he was.
He was very conservative.
Very vocal, too, about a lot.
Very vocal about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I don't know. The switch up came when I guess when the zeros came.
Yeah.
When they gave him more zeros, that's when the switch up came, I suppose.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Because this man was like he was one to pull up your pants type of guy. He was a pro police. This guy was something else. He had a little bit of what is it? Masculine ways of him being as though everybody know he's been gay for years. He's been everybody known that, but he was a masculine man as well.
Yeah.
Now he very catty in the last 3 to 4 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's like he's like a catty little female. Let me see.
Yeah.
Santidra Jackson says not moved by any of these candidates, but vote is secured. Okay, all right.
Is to tell the truth. Media companies are tasked with telling the truth. That did not happen in the situation. That's why we're asking these questions. But let's move on.
Let's talk more about a diverse exchange of ideas. That's what I'm in for. Thank you.
Glad you're here this morning. Your campaign slogan is a new American dream, and I was reading through your platform.
The new American dream. I like that.
Mm-hmm. He's a young man. He's a millennium.
The new American dream. Wow. I like that. I like that a lot because, again, it's a resurgence, in my opinion, of national pride that this country has lost. What's going on now isn't new. When I was in college, man, a long time ago, you literally had kids who had anti-military marches on campus. And now you see Antifa, they're talking about, they attacked a police recruiting station or a police training station in Atlanta a few months ago. There's a lot of anti-patriot sentiment in this country. And so that's why I like Vivek with this whole, hey man, not just make America great again, but the new American dream. Or let me see. Oh, here he goes. Billy says, I will stick with the old American dream. And Trump already brought this up in his speech, probably where he heard it. Come on, Billy.
Last night. I wonder what you would do specifically to actually bring us together, not just Republicans and Democrats. What does unity look like to you, Vivek, for rich and poor, for rural and urban, for Republicans and Democrats?
That is the right question to be asking. And I think the main divide in this country, and I say this to conservative audiences equally, is not between Republicans and Democrats. It is between those of us who are pro-American, embracing the ideals that set this country into motion. And I think an increasing strain in this country that is anti-American, that wishes to apologize for a nation founded on those ideals. But that's not a 50-50 split. I think most people are in the pro-American camp. And Poppy, I think one of the ways they would say we get to national unity, some people think, is by showing up in the middle and compromising. I respect that view, but I reject it.
You reject compromise?
I reject compromising on our principles. I think the right way to get to national unity, and I mean this, to unite this country, is by embracing actually the radicalism of the American ideals themselves. We celebrate our diversity and differences. I'm glad we have some 3 different shades of melanin on this set right now, 2 different genders. That's fine. But what I say is, so what? That diversity is meaningless unless there's something greater that binds us.
In my opinion, Don Lemon is looking to argue with this man. And this man is speaking just facts right here.
Yep.
Together that unites us across that diversity.
We're gonna get
and I'm running for president to revive those ideals that bind us together across our diverse attributes.
I want to get into a few issues, one of them being China. Before I get to China, I just want to better understand something you said this week speaking before the audience at the NRA. Here's what you said, referring to back to 1865. Here it was.
I want you to raise your hand if you know when the first anti-gun laws were passed in this country. Raise your hand if you do. 1865. You want to know when it happened? We fought a civil war in this country to give Black Americans the equal protection under the law that we failed to secure them in 1776. But then you want to know what happened? Southern states passed anti-gun laws that stopped Black people from owning guns. The Democrat Party, then as in now, wanted to put them back in chains.
Then as in now, that's quite an accusation about the current Democratic Party.
It's not an accusation, it's the truth. You ever notice, like, Democrats, when you bring up the fact that they were the party of slavery, that even up until the 60s, most blacks were Republican. It's like they forget that. What say you about that?
And they can do that for the last couple of years now. It's been going on for the last maybe 3-4 years. Like when they say accusations, they said what is another trick bag word that they say? They said many different things that when you listen to, you be like, well, why you don't ever say that when you guys say that? Because most of the stuff that you're saying isn't facts. But all this stuff, they just been doing this, and it's like they want people to have critical, race theory and all this other stuff. But when we really honestly talk about it, they don't really want it. They don't want people to look up what's going on. Do your own research, sir or ma'am. Do that research and you find out if this man or woman or whoever's speaking that truth, if they're lying or if this is a true situation that happened. And that's a true situation. And I can't believe she said accusation. She probably don't even know. She probably don't even care.
Yeah.
She has that thing in her ear where her producer probably said, we're going to say this is accusations, being as though it's in all the history books that you can read on who did this particular thing. You got Google, you got smartphones. You can pick up your doggone phone and see what's going on. If you want to do that. It don't take much. Yeah.
Who and what were you referring to?
I was referring to Joe Biden and his expression of wanting to put them back in chains, dating back to Lyndon Johnson. I think Lyndon Johnson's so-called Great Society was one of the greatest misnomers in American political history, where even back then in the 1960s, 70% plus of Black kids were born into two-parent homes. Today, that number is less than 30% in the opposite direction. The very policies that we implemented in this country in the name of helping Black Americans have actually been disastrous for Black Americans and all Americans. And I think that that's something that we need to wake up to.
In 1865, you were talking about the Black codes, right?
That's right.
Passed, enacted to make it a crime for a Black person to carry a gun
Exactly.
in the South. But you're equating that to the current president? You're referring to economic change? What are you saying?
Well, I was referring to Joe Biden's, I think, ill-chosen expression to say they're the party that wants to put you back into chains. What I'm actually saying is that if you look at the policies of the modern Democratic Party,
Democrats.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is that actually it's policies like that of Lyndon Johnson and Joe Biden that are actually holding Black Americans
Johnson,
back.
The war on poverty?
Yes, and in particular, his Great Society, where he actually created incentives in the family, where if you're a family, you could actually get.
He did. He created incentives where the man had to be out the home for the woman to get welfare. Yes, this man is on point. Let's see.
More money by not having the father in the home. Guess what you get? You get what you pay for. I think it's been really bad for the Black community. I think it's really bad for all Americans.
What do you have anything on this before I move on to Cheyenne?
I don't see what one has to do with the other, but go on. I
don't see what the one has to do with the other, but go on.
Don Lemon used to talk about this all the time.
He did.
This is crazy. This man used to talk about, there's a lot of, single moms and these boys are not being led by men. He used to say this all the time. There's stuff on YouTube that would tell you that this man would say this stuff all the time. Crazy.
No, it's fine. We have time.
I don't really see what one has to do with the other, especially consider and using the Civil War to talk about Black Americans. That war was not fought for Black people to have guns. That's not.
That war was fought for Black people to have freedoms in this country. Yeah. Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
Okay.
And the sad
that
part
wasn't
about
fought for Black people to have guns. I think.
Actually, you know, funny fact is Black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that that's one of the lessons that we learned.
Aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you.
Oh my God.
On that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live.
He has black skin.
This country, then you could disagree with me, but we're not. You mentioned that
I
we have
disagree.
three different shades.
Don, I
of
think we have to be able to
melanin
talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin. Black Americans today, to say that, compare that to 1865 and 1964,
I think for you to compare it to
absolutely
1865 and
have equal rights in this country.
actually, I think it's insulting to Black people. It's insulting to me as an African American. I don't want to.
Please, you don't identify as an African American, Don Lemon.
Sit there and argue with you.
Just like the rest of them, they identify LGBTQ before they do.
Yeah,
anything.
You to put those things together. It's not right. Your telling of history is wrong. What
part of the history was wrong?
What part of the history was wrong? That the Civil War was fought. You're making people think that the Civil War was fought for Black people, only for Black people to get guns and for Black people to.
The Civil War was fought for Black people in this country to get freedoms, a noble mission, and I think that even after we succeeded, we had to actually secure those freedoms.
To reduce it in a speech at the NRA. To say you're making people think, or you're trying to say that Black people to get guns, that was the reason that you're there at the NRA. That was the reason for the Civil War.
It is a
that's
fact.
Reductive.
It's not
and
reductive.
I think it's
Don.
Insulting. There are a whole plethora of reasons that for the Civil War.
With due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to Black Americans, to say that Black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part
people,
of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So
ain't nobody talking in his ear, man. I guess he was basically. He has like a piece in his ear, but I don't think anybody was saying anything.
Hang on one second. So to say that Black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They were not secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things.
He's not discounting Reconstruction. What? Reconstruction period. I'm sorry. The Reconstruction period, which was immediately after slavery, was the rebuilding of America. And Blacks were well, at that point, where they had became senators, they had became members of the House of Representatives. I don't know if Don Lemon knows what he's talking about. Let me rewind it real quick.
Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They were not secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting.
How is he discounting Reconstruction? Okay, maybe I'm missing something with that one. But go ahead.
Of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because Black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to.
And you know
happen
how they got it?
War
They got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, down the line,
NRA did not play a big role.
Absolutely, they trained Black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The NRA did not play a big role.
This is just historical fact. But down the part that I find,
because you say it's historical fact,
the part that I find insulting is when you say today Black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have.
Don, please. Living in the Hamptons in a $2 million, $3 million house. Stop.
Black and white. That Black
probably see one or two Black people
that Black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without me regarding you as a Black man,
insulting that
but
you're
me regarding you
here,
as a fellow citizen.
That you're
That's
sitting
what I think
here,
we should
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
whatever ethnicity
about what it's like to be Black.
Whatever ethnicity you are.
Whatever ethnicity I am, I'll tell you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
The content of the ideas.
If you're going to do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a fair way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way. Okay, but we appreciate you coming on.
With due respect, Don, I look forward to continuing that conversation. Thank you.
They said,
"Thank you."
Wow. Go ahead.
They said this was the interview that took away his job, because when he said wherever you're from or something, what did he specifically say? He said whatever you're from, and he was like, I'm Indian American. He said something, and that's when supposedly that was the reason why it took him off of CNN. There was many other reasons, but that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Larry Elder. Let me see. Are you familiar with Larry Elder?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm going to play a little snippet of him real quick for the audience. He's also announcing that he will be running for president. And I actually did a show on Larry Elder, and I gave my opinion on him possibly running for president. But hold on, let me play this real quick. Give me a second. Here we go.
Us next week for our political show, The Issue Is. This week, joined by Republican Larry Elder. After running for governor of California, he's now running for president of the United States.
You're running against Donald Trump. How do you beat him?
Here's how I see it, Alex. Republicans are of two minds about 45. There are those who love him, and there are those who love what he did as president, but fear him that a sufficient number of swing voters in suburban states would not vote for the man if he walked on water. In fact, if he did, they say he could swim. Now, the question is, like the America First agenda, and I do for a more I agree with, you want a vehicle who has not turned off suburban women so that enough of them will vote for him in the swing states that will control this race. I'm your man.
More from Larry Elder.
All right. Well, here goes my opinion on Larry Elder.
Yeah.
I hate to say this. Larry Elder, even though he's a Republican, he does believe that minorities are being disproportionately incarcerated, which I disagree with. He does believe in limited government and other conservative talking points. Yeah. I hate to say this, man. Larry Elder, he's not good looking enough to be president, man. Now, and I know people are wondering, like, why does he keep on bringing up physical features? Well, physical features have everything to do with a president. A president has to look a certain way. They have to be a certain height. I think Larry Elder might be 6 foot, but he has big bubble lips. I mean, you gotta look at. I mean, I listen. He speaks well. He's intelligent, but other than that,
very intelligent.
Doesn't look like a president, in my opinion. I don't know if you know what his his politics are. But Larry Elder has proposed major tax cuts for individuals and businesses. He believes that lower taxes will stimulate the economy and create jobs. That's good. Deregulation. Elder has called for major deregulation of the economy. He believes that too much regulation is stifling economic growth. In terms of school choice, Elder is a strong supporter of school choice. He believes that parents should have the freedom to choose the best school for their children, regardless of the zip code. I disagree with that. And I'm gonna get back to that one in a minute. I already said the criminal justice aspect. He does believe that minorities are being disproportionately targeted. I don't believe that at all. Larry Elder also is a strong supporter of immigration reform. He believes that the current immigration system is broken and that it needs to be fixed. Now, in terms of schools, I don't have any kids, but if I'm in a great neighborhood, I'm in a great school, I don't want kids from poor neighborhoods, poor backgrounds, mingling with my children. I was a teacher, and I have very strong opinions on this, but a lot of those kids, and again, I will argue that the best kids from underperforming schools or schools in bad neighborhoods should be selected, but not random kids. And that's what Larry Elder really wants. He's saying that, okay, any kid can go to any school. Absolutely not. You don't want a lot of a certain type of student in a very, very good school, because he or she is gonna bring a certain culture, decorum. They're gonna bring destruction with them, and I've seen it myself. But go ahead, sir. What say you about Larry Elder?
The points that you're talking about with the schooling situation, I get your point absolutely, and I agree with that standpoint of it. You can't just let anybody in a school where people work hard to live in that particular neighborhood, because of when you have kids, the first thing you look for when you're moving to another town, how's the schools, and you don't want to if it's a choice of if this kid, his or her grades are great, and it's time for them to move on to a better school than where they live at, yes, I get that part of it. If you were saying just that, no, stay, I don't care how smart you are or what have you, stay home, stay where you're at. If you were saying that, then I'd be like, nah, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
But in other cases of what the other situation, what he said about what the prison system, what is it? He said
we believe that the prison system disproportionately incarcerates minorities. I don't agree with that, and a lot of conservatives don't. But Larry Elder, who is a Republican, he believes that. I don't believe that at all. But go ahead.
I mean, if I put it in a standpoint of if you're living in the poverty areas or what have you, yes, you're going to be in that situation. So if you're in, there's a lot of poor white people in this country, a whole lot of poor white people, and they go to jail just as much. We don't hear about them as we should, but when you're in poverty, it's more of a police. It's more you're going to be in the criminal system, no matter what color you are, and mainly Black and Hispanics are in the prison system. But I can't even say that because again, it's a lot of poor white people, and it's a lot more than countries, cities like Chicago or Detroit or what have you. It's a lot of different cities where we have a lot of poor white people, and they're going to jail in a rapid numbers as well. So to look at it like that, yes. But when you first look at it, you ain't doing no research or what have you, you would see it like, no, Black and Hispanics are going to jail more in the criminal justice reform, what have you. Yeah.
Okay. Sheridan Forbes says, if it ain't about your money or your honey, it sounds funny. If you want your kids to go to a good school, you have to live where they can get a good education, i.e., or such as a rich neighborhood. This is why we need wealth. Yes, I agree with that. I believe that as a parent, now mind you, I don't have any children, but I believe that children are very precious and that you as a human being, especially in this day and age, you don't have to breed. You not breeding won't hinder the human race. I could understand living thousands of years ago in some little remote village somewhere, and yes, breeding. You had to breed because of farming or agriculture to keep the village going. I can understand that, but you don't have to. Most people don't have to. Now, these are just my opinions, right? But you don't have to breed, and particularly you don't have to breed children into poverty, into these bad school systems. And when I was teaching, I would literally say that to a lot of these parents. You need to stop having sex, to be completely honest. You need to, when I was a case manager, I used to tell them, you need to stop having sex. If you're going to be poor, if you're going to be in poverty, just do it all by yourself. But you don't need to bring people into this world because, again, I am going to be honest with you. If I had children, I don't want my children to go to this school and your kids are in this school because of free school choice. Disregard zip codes. No, zip codes exist for a reason. And no, again, if I had children, I'm pretty sure LeBron would say, why is Chaotic Sun at Sierra Canyon with my kids? I couldn't knock it. I agree with them. Again, I gotta say this, man. The best private school in America is Exeter. Based on Larry Elder's logic, children should not only go to school for free there, but any kid can go to Exeter. No, any kid can't go to Exeter. Any kid can't go to these elite private schools. No, I don't agree with that.
Right.
But that's just me, though. And thank you so much, Sheridan. Excuse me.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. Let me read some of these chats. I saw a real nasty chat from Sin. Sin, this was nasty. I can't believe you said this. It says rats can't help being at the bottom of the animal hierarchy, but you don't exchange them for your Labrador in your home. Yes, I agree with you on that. Going back to my original statement that I gotta say this, man. Somebody earlier wrote, well, it's not the kid's fault. That is true. But unfortunately, that's not how reality works. Yes, I'm pretty sure Trump and his family are very cool to kick it with. But I can almost guarantee you Trump doesn't want Barron, who his youngest son, in school with common or common kids. He doesn't want, no, I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
He wants kids who come from affluent families to be at his school with his kids so that they can continue to be affluent and world leaders. He doesn't want his kids to go to school with chaotic kids, and I agree with him.
And Joe Biden told us that he didn't want the kids from the hood neighborhoods coming to the schools where he's at. He said that clear.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want them monkeys, and they still voted for him. So, yeah.
They did.
Yeah, so, but I get it. I absolutely get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You work hard, you want your child to be in a situation where he or she is going to be successful.
Yeah.
Only people that that don't want nothing for themselves will argue that fact.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Larry Elder, again, guys, in my opinion, could he be president? He could, but it's, I don't know what you believe, sir, but unapologetic, but this is what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We're apes. We're part of the great ape family. I believe that. underneath it all, we're just animals. And the first thing that we see is aesthetic or looks. And Larry Elders, he doesn't have the look of a president to me. He doesn't have that look. Yeah. So no, that'll be a hard no for me, just based on that. Yeah.
You've been absolutely honest about it. And
yeah.
actually,
Well, it's a hard no.
They talk about it all the time. About what do people look at in terms of the physical nature of the president, or in the educational value, what he or she been through, like what have they done, and that physical look is actually a a top 5 thing that people look at before they vote for you. So I can see that people are afraid. This is the shaming generation, society today. You can't shame nobody, but people still going to think this way, even if they keep it quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Nicole says, wait a minute, I just lost the chat. Give me 1 second. Nicole says, why did Chaotic quit his job as a teacher? He couldn't control his pupils. Of course. That's exactly what happened. I taught in a very poor school district. A lot of these kids, they grow up in anti-education families. They don't do homework. There's no value of education. There's no value of science and mathematics. A lot of the kids came to school high off weed. They don't care. So these kids are out of control in a lot of these school districts. And they were out of control. So, I know you're trying to crack a joke, JC, but there's no reason to. I tell you like it is. They were out of control, and I couldn't control them a lot of the times. And, that's why I will argue, as particularly a man now, don't go into education unless they're going to give you $250,000 a year if you're going to teach at a lot of these public schools. That's what I believe. So unless you're giving me $250,000, I will never, ever set foot back in the school. Yeah, absolutely not. But thank you so much.
I feel the same way. I actually put my 2 weeks notice in maybe about 3 weeks ago.
You should. Yeah.
And this is not for masculine men anymore. It's not for women that's like motherly or what have you. It's for whatever the kid wants.
Yeah.
Whatever the kid deems he or she can do.
Yeah.
Not all the kids, that specifically the school I was in, but a lot of them. And the administration, the superintendents, all these people that's getting this, 6-7 figure checks, about to retire or what have you, they don't want to be deemed as racist anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want to be deemed at not protecting the kids. So what they do, they overprotect the children today. So they don't care what's going on with their schools and how teachers are like, leaving like they work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're getting different teachers each and every year.
Yeah.
They getting substitute teachers throughout the year.
Yep. And they've lowered the standards too. Yeah. You're correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're
and then
correct.
I'm going to get on my live today. I'm going to be talking about situations where the men in schools are there, counselors, behavior motivators and things of that nature. You have to tread water because accusations can get you, I'm a football coach. So that's what I really love to do. So that situation is like, oh, okay, Now you're playing with my livelihood. I got to go.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh,
So
trust me,
you
I
have
understand
to.
it. Yeah.
And these kids, no, they understand that they got you by your neck now.
Yeah.
They know, so this is what it is today. It's a shame because these kids losing out when it's time to graduate. Those administration and all them people, they're not going to protect you anymore. You're a done deal.
Exactly. Yep. They're waiting to throw you under the bus. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you keep doing what you're doing. And a lot of teachers, especially a lot of men and women that really, maybe conservative or maybe just, they're tired of losing their mind.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there anymore. And you're seeing it more and more, So yeah, I'm going to talk about it on my live today, a bunch of different things as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Tim Scott. You know who Tim Scott is, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Tim Scott, man. He's the Republican senator out of South Carolina who also announced his presidential bid. Scott is a strong supporter of tax cuts, just like a lot of Republicans are. He believes that lower taxes will stimulate the economy and create jobs. He's also a supporter of deregulation. Scott is a strong supporter of deregulation. He believes that too much regulation is stifling economic growth. Government spending. Scott is a fiscal conservative who believes that the government should spend less money. He has called for cuts to entitlement programs such as Social Security and Medicare. Scott is a supporter of the Affordable Care Act, Obama, but he believes that it needs to be reformed. He has called for changes to the law, such as allowing people to purchase health insurance across state lines. Immigration. He believes in immigration reform and foreign policy. Scott is a supporter of a strong military. He believes that the United States should be prepared to use military force to protect its interests. Yes, I agree with Tim Scott. He also has the look to become president as well. Very intelligent, relatively young. I think he's in his 50s. Let me see. Let me play a video of him real quick. Let me see. Here we go. We can play this one.
Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's hearing about regulatory supervision and congressional oversight, something that we all take very seriously. I hear a lot from my friends on the left that this is somehow a legislative failure, that you didn't have the power needed to supervise the banks. There's nothing further from the truth than that concept, that you did not have the legislative power necessary to do your jobs. That's just false. We can point to S2155 all day long, but if you read S2155, you come to the conclusion that this.
I'm actually going to play something from The View instead of let me.
I saw that too. Yeah, I was watching conservative,
and they actually listened to him, which I definitely respect.
I was surprised.
Normally, those cackling hens don't listen to anybody.
I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, let me see.
Some of his harshest liberal media critics.
Okay, here goes The View, aka Cackling Hen Central. Let's see.
Head on. The South Carolina senator joined the women of The View moments ago to make his case for the White House, and Scott's appearance comes after a series of racially charged attacks from many of the show's liberal co-hosts.
You are the first Black senator elected in the South since the Reconstruction. That would be about 114 years. Yet you say that your life disproves leftist lies.
And we already know that he's telling the truth.
My question to you is, are you the exception?
No,
right?
you're not the exception, ma'am. No, you're not. No, you're not.
You're the exception.
No, he's not the exception, ma'am. You have cities where blacks are fire chiefs, police chiefs, mayors, superintendents of schools, I have no idea what this lady's talking about.
Even Miss Whoopi Goldberg is the exception.
Whoopi Goldberg is not the exception. The most famous entertainers in America primarily have always been black people. Let's stop with that exception. Even back in the day, Mammy, that black lady in Gone with the Wind, she won an Oscar, and all she said was, "Child, get your white ass in this house," or something like that of that magnitude.
Yeah.
But we are not the rule.
No, we are the rule. Let's stop.
So when it comes to racial inequality, it persists in 5 core aspects of life in the U.S. economics, education, healthcare, criminal justice, and housing. At nearly every turn, these achievements were fought, threatened, and erased, most often by white violence.
No, it wasn't.
You have indicated that you don't believe in systemic racism. What is your definition of systemic racism?
Let me answer the question that you've answered.
Or does it even exist in your mind?
Let me.
Now, who is this woman? That's Sunny. What's her name again?
Sunny.
Yeah.
Holston.
Yeah. Now, mind you, her
With
husband
age.
is a surgeon. He's black. So that's a lot of exceptions, Sonny. Stop.
Or does it even exist in your mind?
Let me.
That's actually make
answer
her
the
money.
question this way. One of the things I think about, and one of the reasons why I'm on the show, is because of the comments that were made, frankly, on this show, that the only way for a young African American kid to be successful in this country is to be the exception and not the rule. That is a dangerous, offensive, disgusting message to send to our young people today. That the only way to succeed is by being the exception. I will tell you that if my life is the exception, I can't imagine.
But it is.
But it's not actually. It's
been 114 years.
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, we've had an African American president, African American vice president. We've had 2 African Americans to be secretaries of the state.
Yep. You got an African American who's the Joint Chiefs right now, Joint Chiefs of Staff. So yeah,
absolutely.
Really, just one of his many incredibly thoughtful, reasoned, prepared.
Yeah, these Fox News reporters have. Yeah, they're pretty hot.
That comments throughout
always.
his time there on the View.
It was phenomenal what Senator Scott did. He came locked and loaded with facts. He came across good-natured, charming, but strong.
He did.
He went on to say, just after that clip, not only have we had a black president, currently black vice president, he said, I have a black police chief in my community, black head of highway patrol. There are black men and women who are anchors at ABC, CBS, NBC, ESPN, Fox News. And then he goes on.
And I'm really glad that they actually listened to him. Like normally they would cackle back and forth, but yeah, man, he's bringing facts. Yeah, go ahead.
And I did see that part. I seen it. And Whoopi Goldberg she actually stopped the show because they was about to do that. And I think if it wasn't for that old racist white lady that be on the show, what's her name?
Joy Barr. Yeah.
Oh my God. She was saying, she the one that was saying all them racist things about Tim Scott.
Yeah.
She was the one. If it wasn't for Whoopi Goldberg stopping the whole show saying we're going to respect this man no matter what type of views he has or we disagree with, we're going to respect him. And that's when they stopped.
Yep.
She had to do that. So that's not. I don't want to make it like they did it on their own.
Yeah.
Black unemployment under 5% for the first time under a Republican president, 95% high school graduation rate. And he said yesterday's exception is today's rule. Sonny Hostin looked at him speechless. Nothing to say. Because those are facts. Those are undeniable what he said. And then they were only left to, in the next block, for some reason, Whoopi and Sonny hugged and like cuddled. It was very bizarre. I mean, look at that.
I would love to see Sonny Houston, Whoopi Goldberg, and the rest of these cackling hens do the View in Saudi Arabia. Let's see how far that'll get you. I wonder if what they would say if they were trying to do this show over there, and how successful that would be.
I just don't get why I just don't get why these people that's making 8 figures, and they've been making 8 figures over 20 years, and they still want to promote victimhood to our communities.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? This is the biggest problem that we're having. And then they don't do it. It's disingenuous that they doing it to us. But if you go see them on a daily basis, they're probably around white people 99.9% of the time. They never been to nobody's hood. Probably last time they was in someone's hood was probably when they was little girls.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the biggest problem we have when it comes to these fake black celebrities that's very compromised.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem right there. Yep.
And then they shouted, one of them, systemic racism. So he did so well because he showed up with facts. He's so positive, so optimistic. But the women of The View, they continued to lie about Ron DeSantis. Anna Navarro said that he doesn't want to teach Black history, which another host on that show has had to apologize before because it's an outright lie. So they may have a defamation issue on their hands there. And not only that, another host said Ron DeSantis isn't conservative. I don't know what they drink over at The View, but it's something imaginary.
And let's just watch a clip of that guy at one of the moments referencing Governor.
Yes, she is.
You think Disney is the radical left?
Well, I'm talking about.
No, Disney is the radical. See, this is what I'm talking about. Disney is the radical. Yeah, has she not seen any of Disney's products? Their shows, their movies, they have all types of woke nonsense in it.
You think Disney's radical left?
Well, I think Disney and Ronnie have been in a combat zone for a number of months over what I thought was the right issue as it relates to our young kids and what they're being indoctrinated with. I thought he started off on the right foot on that issue.
This is the part.
No, not here. I'm sorry, sir. Do not boo. This is The View. We accept we don't have.
No, child. Not today, child.
Have to believe everything.
I low-key think Whoopi likes him though, like romantically likes him. That's probably why she wasn't cackling as much.
Right. That could be it.
He has. I'm telling you, he has the look to be president. I think he's about maybe 6'1", 6'2". He has it, man. Maybe he can. I don't know, Tim Scott, man. You know, I'm obviously gonna vote for Trump, but if Trump wasn't running, definitely Vivek is number one, and number two would probably be Tim Scott. Who else is running for president? Chris Christie.
Oh yeah,
you know, that is, right?
I forgot he was still around. And
Yeah,
I'm from Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy, so I know him.
Yeah. Now here goes Chris Christie. Let me see.
Yeah, that fool.
Yeah. Let's see here. Chris Christie.
Today, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is set to officially launch his 2024.
I gotta say this, but he looks like a mob boss. I don't think that's a good look for. I mean, remember, it's all about aesthetics first.
Yes,
he's morbidly obese.
That's probably why he got votes because he looked like a mob boss in Jersey.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
like I feel like when he's talking to people, like as a president, I feel like the next thing that's gonna come out of his mouth is say, "Hey man, we're gonna have to break your thumbs or something, man, if you don't pay us this money, man. We loaned you the money. Where's our money at? Hey, take him to the back, break his thumbs real quick." Yeah, so he looks like a mob boss, but if he lost about how many pounds, man? About 150.
Yeah, he look like he about 400.
He gotta lose the weight, man. He has to lose the weight.
But you know he's short too. I saw him in person.
A lot of Italian men are short.
Yeah.
Let me see. Italians didn't really get the height genetics like the Western whites did. Let me see.
I'm 6 foot. He had to be like 5'8".
Damn, that's short.
He had to be like 5'8". Yeah.
Let me see. Chris Christie is a strong supporter of tax cuts. He's a strong supporter of deregulation. Christie is a fiscal conservative who believes that the government should spend less money. Christie is a supporter of comprehensive immigration reform. Christie is a supporter of a strong military. Yes. Okay. All making of a good Republican president. However, he doesn't have the look. He doesn't have the look.
President Donald Trump. Christie's run would expand the already crowded.
Yeah, he doesn't have the look to be a president, man. Unfortunately. Yeah. It sucks, man. It sucks.
And he's not too popular at all. He was popular maybe about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He was popular 5 years ago. He's not that popular
Former
anymore.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is. Trump. Of course, the former president also running again. And while it is still very early,
to announce he wants to run for president again, taking on
Yeah, he doesn't have the look, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, nah, he doesn't.
I literally thought he was retired somewhere. I didn't hear from him since like COVID, when the COVID first started.
Okay.
That's the last time I heard about him.
Okay. Nikki Haley. All right, let's see. Nikki Haley.
Yeah, I don't know her.
You don't know who Nikki Haley is? Okay.
Sound familiar.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Here we go. Nikki Haley.
Boys playing in girls' sports. It is the women's issue of our time. My daughter ran track in high school. I don't even know how I would have that conversation with her. How are we supposed to get our girls used to the fact that biological boys are in their locker rooms? Then we wonder why a third of our teenage girls seriously contemplated suicide last year.
The women's issue of our time. Okay, that was a deeply.
I
can't stand this woman, Joy Reid.
My God.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta.
Hun Jamel Hill. Oh my God.
Could you imagine being married to that woman?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you think about suicide every day, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's already rampant amongst men. I don't need to ramp it even more.
Yeah. Let me see. Nikki Haley.
Goddamn Patrick Ewing, daughter.
CNN, they're at it again. Now, Anna Navarro, far-left political hack who once pretended to be a Republican strategist, actually accused Nikki Haley of being fake. Yeah, right. Take a look.
I don't put that much stock on anything she says because she's always contradicting herself.
What the hell does Don Lemon have on?
Just a little bit afterwards, right? Whenever I hear Nikki Haley, it's
this lady, her fake Republican
in my
ass.
head. You know, will the real Nikki Haley please stand up? Because she will say whatever
she stand for. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and I'm telling you, she stands for whatever is convenient at the moment.
Anna Navarro sits around trash talking Republicans. That's what she gets paid for. Now, meanwhile, Nikki Haley was a UN ambassador under Trump, was the governor of South Carolina. Now, some are speculating that she is plotting and planning maybe a run for president for 2024. Let's give a warm Hannity Show welcome as Ambassador Nikki Haley. Governor Haley is with us. Great to have you. How are you? They didn't clap that loud for me. No, great to see you. We've been friends a long time. And
when white people say they've been friends a long time, that means they met 2 weeks ago.
Do you even want to respond to Anna Navarro? Who really cares what she thinks?
No, I'm happy to respond because the funny thing about her, she's first of all been anti-Trump.
Okay, when it comes to looks, Nikki Haley definitely will be she would be a very hot president. I, as the voter, as a man, of course, I'm definitely going to look at her aesthetic beauty first. Her politics come second, obviously, because she's a female.
Right.
Speaking of her politics, Nikki Haley is a strong supporter of Israel. She has called for the United States to move its embassy to Israel, to Jerusalem, and has condemned the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement against Israel. On Iran, Haley is a strong supporter of Iran. She has called for increased sanctions against Iran. A strong opponent, not supporter, sorry. And has urged that the United States take military action against Iran if necessary. On immigration, she is a strong supporter of stricter immigration laws. See, I rock with her with that one. She has called for the construction of a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border and has supported the Trump administration's travel ban on citizens from several Muslim-majority countries. I agree with that. On trade, Haley is a strong supporter of free trade. She has opposed the Trump administration's tariff on goods from China and other countries. So that means that she's not. Listen, that might be her boss, but hey, look, I don't agree with you on that. And taxes, Haley is a strong supporter of tax cuts. She has praised the Trump administration tax cuts and has called for further tax cuts in the future. Let me see.
Trump forever. Secondly, she loves to go.
Yeah, with her the Israeli thing, that would have me look at her side eye.
Be careful. Be careful. But go ahead, because you know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put it in that direction.
Yeah.
When it comes to that,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say no more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
View on The View as well when she's not doing that. But they can't stand the fact that a minority female would be conservative. They want me to hate Trump all the time. And the fact that I don't, they find that highly offensive. And they also find it highly offensive that I have a brain and that I can say when something is good and that I can say when something is bad. And I'm not going to be a puppet for anybody.
Let's talk about 2024. I know you were on with Brett Baer earlier this week. It looks like you're running. I suspect you're running.
He's also
I don't
Indian,
know for
too.
sure, but if you want to make your announcement now, I think a lot of people would be happy. Are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no. And I'm gonna be honest, because she's a woman. I don't want a woman to ever be the president of the United States. But that's my own misogyny. I'm pretty sure she'd do a hell of a job, but particularly in this time period, with China making impressive inroads in almost every industry. And they are massing up their military. We have we have India that might possibly have a GDP larger than than the UK eventually. I don't think it's time to have a woman as the president. I think it's going to make us look even more weak than what we do now. But again, that's my own misogyny. I'm going to be completely honest with you. She is super hot, but I don't need a super hot president. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Unapologetic.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think you're a misogynist because you said you are, but I would say that even women wouldn't vote for women. If we're going to be really honest with that situation, they're going to not vote for women because they're looking for leadership as well. And her looks, she's an attractive woman.
She is very attractive.
And you say she's Indian American as well.
She's Indian, yes.
And I'm starting to remember her when it was somebody that was MSNBC hate her because she don't talk about victimhood when it comes to her parents being Indian, and she's South Carolina governor, wasn't she? Was she a South Carolina?
She's a former governor of South Carolina, correct?
Yeah. So I remember they was talking about her heavy at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but with her, I wouldn't see myself voting for her at all.
Yeah.
And I already named the last.
I like the fact that she has she wants to build the border, and she wants stricter immigration policies. I agree with that. I think that only the best should come to America. I think that believe. Yeah. I really
that's
believe,
why.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. That's why they was mad at her, because her family, I think they come from India, and they was like, well, how can she not, want immigration laws? I mean, why would she want them, not to come here or what have you? And she gave a good explanation for it.
And what was her
a good, simple one explanation for that. And they didn't like that because, again, they don't like truth on the left side.
I think in terms of immigration, I really believe that some countries should altogether be banned from having their citizens come over here altogether.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna name the particular countries, but there should be a lot of countries where we don't even want these people over here. But yeah, other than that, though, I think she's hot. But again, we don't need a hot president. Let me see. HB2N is a misogynist. He says women are not smart enough to run. Excuse me, to run. They just control the men who do. Ooh, good point. Good point. Let me see here. Who else is running? We already know Ron DeSantis is. We don't have to get into Ron DeSantis. There's some other guy.
My man Ron DeSantis.
I would vote for Ron DeSantis. If Trump wasn't running, I would definitely vote for Ron DeSantis. I definitely like Ron DeSantis' take on his take on education in his own state in Florida.
Yep.
I did a show on it. I believe that was a great thing to do, man. Get rid of these courses. These courses are irrelevant and they're useless. And I have a bachelor's degree in African studies. And I can tell you, it is only as good as wiping your ass with it as toilet tissue. To be completely honest with you. It's a useless degree. Useless, very useless.
Yes. He caught my attention when he sent that $7 million. Was it $7 million legislation with single fathers in Florida? He wanted them for more programs for single fathers. I never heard somebody doing that ever in my life. And I looked at that, and it was last year because I went on vacation in Florida at that particular time in April, and he put that legislation passed for all single fathers for different what you call that? There's different situations for single fathers. And it was $7 million, and that will caught my attention. And then since then, this man he's been on the road.
Okay. Now I have a question for you. This is way off the topic.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to be president?
Not me.
When I was a kid, kids are very different. We especially in the 90s. I remember when I thought that the president was a hero. And, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, that's the president. Oh, man, wow. Honestly, as an adult, particularly almost 40, I wouldn't wish that job on my worst enemy.
Exactly.
I wouldn't do it. And that's why it's a very dirty job. I believe it's a thankless job. You're constantly being critiqued. You're constantly being compared to previous POTUS. You're never going to make everybody happy. You may get certain things wrong. You may forget certain things. It's not what I thought it was from the perspective of when I was a child. I thought that a president was perfect. That's why, when I heard about Clinton as a kid, I couldn't believe it. But then when you get older, you realize that, man, a lot of these presidents, they probably do all types of dirt, even as the president. You don't even, you really, So, no, I wouldn't take the job either. Not me. Not for me. Let me see.
Yeah. Me. It's too much stuff that goes with it and stuff like that. You have to be. You don't really have to be perfect because all the stuff that Joe Biden been through, in terms of his history of literally anti-black racism, and he still became president just because the most popular president that ever been. What's his name? Barack Obama put him on that pedestal, and we our people did what they did, and this is what it was. So you don't have to be perfect, but it's too much stress. Too much.
Let me see. There's some more people that are running, but I think I'm gonna end it off here.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Unapologetic. I'm gonna roll up out of here, man. Thank you so much for being up here the entire time, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely would love to come back again.
Yep.
First time on Lapeef.
Okay.
And I just subscribed to your channel as well. So
Thank you so much, sir.
Check you more. I'll check you out a little more.
Real quick, before you leave, what are your thoughts on the Taiwan Strait?
When I heard about it a couple weeks ago, are you talking about the new COVID type of thing?
No, the Taiwan Strait is the 100-mile water, 100-mile. So Taiwan is a disputed country. Taiwan is the planet's largest semiconductor producer. A lot of trade goes in between the Malacca Strait and the Taiwan Strait, and China has been, well, not has been, but there's a lot of rumors, a lot of talk that China wants to take back Taiwan. But if you're not familiar with it, then we can,
I'm not that much familiar with it, but I'm hearing about the China one. They're thinking about going to war with Taiwan. I've been hearing that, but I've been recently hearing about that as well. But I don't know too much about that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. Peace.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much for everybody in the chat. I'm going to get the hell up out of here. I'll be back next Tuesday. Please, I think there's a show tonight on the Lapeef Network as well. King Talk. So please come back tonight. Other than that, salute to you all. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Thank you so much for everybody that was in the chat as well. And see you next week.